What's up, everybody? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if the audio is good. And what's up, everybody? Welcome. This stream, we are going to talk about Bitcoin first, and then we're going to talk about DeFi. And DeFi has been popping off lately, as accurately predicted from 2 weeks ago. And well, first we're going to talk about Bitcoin, then we're going to talk about DeFi, and then we are going to take some questions. And hopefully I'll be able to answer some questions from you guys. So if that sounds like absolute fun, drop a like on this video, drop a like on the stream, and let's dive into it. So first things first on Bitcoin. This is the Friday's high, and that is the Friday's low. And usually when you come out of the weekends, if you take out the Friday's low prior to Monday, then usually that is going to be the fake move, because you are going to trap buyers. You're going to trap sellers down there. What do I mean by that? Notice how there are many equal lows here. When price breaks this level, retail is most of the time going to think, hey, support has been broken, so you're going to go to zero. And so they short. What do the market makers do then? Immediately reverse the price. And all these sellers down here will be trapped. That's what I mean by trapping the sellers. So if I had to bet, I think we're going up today. Although I could be wrong, because there are a couple of things that is keeping me from being super confident about this analysis. Now, 95% of the time, this kind of an analysis works well, where, you have the Friday high, you have the Friday low, and, stuff like that. But in this week, just for this week in particular, there is one other thing that I'm looking for. Now, if you notice this block right here, there is zero price action in this block. So this is what you call a fair value gap. And usually speaking, most of the time, gaps tend to be filled. Which means that I'm actually looking for 41,500, or at least 41,500 to get hit before we move upwards. So that is the one thing that's keeping me from saying, hey, we're going to go up from here. Although you very well could. So that's what the job of this stream is for. We're going to figure it out throughout the stream, and hopefully we'll be able to make you guys some good money, just like last week, where I predicted that even though many altcoins, for example, like eGold, was having a beautiful cup and handle, even though that was the case, you know what actually ended up happening? I called a short. I was calling shorts to all of you guys. For example, I'm just going to paste this into here. Shorting eGold at 195, taking profit at 169. All the TPs have been hit. So one of the benefits that you get from watching the stream, and if you want the exact entries that I'm taking, it's going to be in the private Discord group, which you can find in a link in the description box below. So that's what we predicted last week. And I was pretty certain about it last week. I'm not that certain about it this week. And that was the first reason why I'm not too certain of it. Second is the fact that last week we talked about a level 3 formation. And you could argue that it is complete with something like that, and maybe something like that, right? That's a level 3 complete, which means that realistically speaking, you're supposed to go up from here. So if I still had to take bets, I'd say we have a higher probability of going up than we have going down. This week I cannot be too certain, and again, when it comes to trading, it is all a game of probabilities. You simply take, the one that succeeds is the one that first practices good risk management, second always takes the higher probability trade compared to the lower probability trade, and number 3, just exercise some patience. So if I had to bet, I think we're going up today, and because of that, when we take a look at the altcoins later, we are going to approach that from the perspective of a cautious long. So maybe we would enter some of our position here, and then if the price goes lower, then we'll enter in again. Basically, with approaching anything today, you don't want to go too you don't want to go too Rambo. You want to be a little bit more conservative in your risk management. That is my sincere recommendation to all of you guys. So with that said, I would totally suggest going long right at this point right here at 42,200. Although the risk to reward ratio is probably not going to line up the best, because if you go long here, you're probably going to go long again at 41,500 and maybe again at 41,100, like 41,200, right? I'm just going to draw that line out. So these are the three levels that you sort of want to go long at, and your stop is going to be 4,500. So that's just the idea that I'm playing with. So then let's talk about DeFi. Now, DeFi is in a similar predicament, in the sense that I want to see 7,125, give or take. I want to see 7,125 get hit before I'm really going to be really like super confident in calling like a long right here on DeFi, which puts me in a little bit of a conundrum, because I think it looks good now, but I think it can be better. And based on my style of trading, I'm definitely going half risk this week. And more importantly, the remaining half of that risk is going to come later. So that's just how I'm going to approach today. It's probably how I'm going to approach this week. Of course, everything can change if Bitcoin proves this theory correct, where after we take out the Friday's low, on Monday, you immediately start shooting for Friday's high, which is what happened last week, actually. So just to prove that this theory is like not just some lucky thing, check it out. This line right here was Friday's high. During the weekend, you take out Friday's high. So during the week, what do? You shoot for Friday's low. Check it out. Just to prove that this is not a gimmick, you shoot for Friday's low. And notice how once you take out Friday's low, same concept here. You trap the sellers, you reverse it before showing true direction again. So assuming that this pattern, which has a historically speaking very high win rate, you're probably going to go up today. But again, just being cautious here. So then let's talk about DeFi. Now, DeFi perp in particular, I still think DeFi perp has like a lot of juice left. And this is just like a temporary retrace, because if we go onto the daily chart, you can see that this is the first retrace we've really realistically gotten since we broke 1, 2, 3, 4 previous daily high, 5 actually, right there, another one. We broke 5 highs in like one successful sweep, and this is the first retrace that we've been getting, and this is a good sign actually, especially for the people who missed it the first time. So now we have to figure out, like, okay, again, ideal zone is going to be 7,125, but this zone right here is what you call a bullish order block, and usually speaking, it is a pretty good zone to enter in as well. So my suggestion, maybe split your position up into 2 to 3 parts. Maybe enter some here, enter more down here, and then the most ideal location is going to come between 6,400 to about 6,000 points on DeFi perp. Okay, so that's a big picture summary of DeFi perp. I still think that this is going to be absolutely huge. If you just look at DeFi perp on a macro scale, you can see how this is a macro range low, that is a macro range high, and everything else in between is just noise. So you have successfully found quote-unquote support at the macro range low. So realistically speaking, the next target is the macro range high, which would put DeFi as a whole at a 2 times valuation from right now. And now we're going to go look into individual coins and try to figure out, I mean, I've already looked into individual coins, so I'm just going to share with you like my findings. But after we finish taking a look at DeFi, I'm going to pass the mic to you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if there are any coins that you want me to look at. Now, these coins should be good coins. They should not be terrible coins or trash coins. Just coins that you think are exhibiting a very beautiful market structure, or you think has a good potential to pump. Maybe they have some news or whatever, then we will take a look at it together and we'll figure out if that is indeed a good trade. So while I talk about DeFi, I'll pass that on to you guys. So let me just go back to my channel on the Discord, and we're going to talk about a few coins that I've already looked into. And if you just want the latest market updates, private Discord group is the place to be. So Rune in particular, I'm looking at this block right here. So I'm quite interested in Rune at this point. However, you've already gotten a sort of pump, a relief rally from this point, right? And notice how once you hit the bullish order block, you just bounce. And this is like some of the easiest money that you'll make in crypto. Once you understand order blocks, it is as simple as setting a limit there, taking advantage of, that's 10%. If you make 10% consistently, that's really, really good money. So next thing we have to figure out is this going to be the bottom? Again, assuming that DeFi perp is going to go lower, not really, but I would still be interested in Rune today. If Bitcoin decides to pump today, then Rune right here is very interesting. So we're going to shortlist Rune and we're going to come back to that later. So then we're going to take a look at AVAX. Similar structure to Rune in the sense that if you go into the 4 hourly, you can see that it is sitting right inside a bullish order block. Again, AVAX, we're going to shortlist that as well. That's going to be a good coin to get into along with Rune. If Bitcoin goes up today, this is the coin we want to take advantage of. But ideally speaking, I'm going to look at these 3 levels, which is 76.55, 72.18, and 70. These 3 levels will be ideal levels to pick up AVAX compared to this bullish order block here. I'm just going to be fully transparent with you. That is the entry that I would prefer. But in the event that Bitcoin starts pumping today, then AVAX, Rune, we're going to take a look at Polkadot. Polkadot, very similar structure, looks a little bit worse than AVAX and Rune because of the fact that it looks like it's about to take out the liquidity right there. So if I had to place a bet, I would be interested in 18.33 rather than going in right now. So that's 1% below. You guys can decide if 1% is enough of a, you guys can decide if you want a FOMO, but I always say pumps in the markets are like a dime a dozen. So many pumps happen in the crypto markets every single day. There's no reason to FOMO. So, and I would rather, personally, I would rather miss pumps than to lose money. Like, once you lose your money, you're out of the game. You can't participate anymore. So just take that as a little bit of advice. Now I'm trying to draw this trend line for you guys so that you guys can visualize this, but Aave, similar structure to Rune and AVAX in the sense that both of them, 3 of them are in a bullish order block at the moment. This is going to hold, I'm not sure. Because you already gotten a bounce out of that order block. So we're going to shortlist this as well. I'm just sharing you guys like an overview of the coins that I'm specifically looking at. CRV, similar structure. And to those who remember the CRV trade, this was absolutely brilliant. 45% only in the private Discord group, boys. So similar structure. Again, you bounced. So this makes me inclined to believe that, it is not as good, but you are having another bullish order block over here, which it currently is in right now. So if I had to choose AVAX, Aave, CRV, Rune, 4 of these coins are the best to get in today, in my opinion. And for coins that are better to get in the event that we retrace, would be SNX. So you have a very clean order block over here at about 4.7. So on I wouldn't go in. I would pick some up here, but ideally I want to see 4.7. So we're going to shortlist SNX as well at $5. It could be good. So we're going to shortlist this as well, coin number 5. But ideally, I want to see a pullback to this order block right here because it's brilliant. So 4.7 and 4.55, give or take. That's my ideal level. And lastly, we're going to talk about Tomo. Tomo, similar structure. Right now it's going for the liquidity sweep. So this I definitely wouldn't go long immediately, but you know, the ideal location is just like 3%, 2% down. So even if you go long here, you know, as long as you can sit through like a 2 to 5%, like 2 to 5% drawdown, you'll do absolutely fine. So these are sort of like my top 6 coins for today that I would be looking to get into. After looking through just everything, SRM could be top 7. Same thing, it's going for a liquidity sweep right here. So top 7 coins, you know, SRM, AVAX, Aave, CRV, Rune, Tomo, SNX, generally DeFi coins, because they are very, very similar in structure. But all, like, just a fair warning, all of these coins look like they are on the verge of just collapsing. So with that in mind, everything really depends on Bitcoin right here. If Bitcoin decides to pump, all of these are going to look good. I wouldn't hold on to them for very, very long though, because, well, for a couple of reasons. But they'll be good for some instant pumps. Just instead of Monday blues, we're going to get Monday party. I know that's really lame, but just couldn't think of anything better. I'm sorry. So somebody asked me to take a look at Uni. So Uni is similar structure as well. You know, basically all the DeFi is looking pretty similar. You know, everything's going through like a liquidity sweep. Everything is trying to reset from a level 3 formation. Generally, you know, they're either going to pump together or they're going to die together. So that's my take on DeFi. We will come back to all those top 7 coins in a bit. But again, just things are looking very precarious right now. If possible, I wouldn't even trade today. Or if I do trade, I'm just going to go half risk. Sincere recommendations. Wow, HTR, that is wow, that is quite the drawdown. Ugh. Very disgusting. See, this is what I mean by, yeah, 40%. Disgusting. Yeah, HTR could be good. Just filled in like an order block. If sentiment is bullish, then yeah, it could be good. But at the same time though, it's not showing any signs that it is breaking out of bearish structure. So we'll have to see, you know. I wouldn't necessarily be interested in HTR right off the bat. HTR.CRV, everything just looks so precarious, you know. It's just like one little move from breaking the bullish order block theory that we're talking about. The same thing, VT, just going for a liquidity sweep and liquidity sweeping up. But there is like a fair value gap over there, which can definitely be filled in before the next move. PYR has been very strong lately. What entries do you see there? Bro, I've been talking about PYR for like since the beginning of this year. PYR, ILV are coins that I've been accumulating for months. I talked about it a lot, actually. People are asking about PYR in the comment section as well. I talked about that a lot. Did any of you take my advice? I mean, now is definitely not the time when you should start to be interested in... Now is definitely not the time that you should be starting to be interested in PYR, you know. You're supposed to get in when like nobody's talking about it, and back then, PYR, nobody was talking about it. Yeah, you could shortlist. You could shortlist VET as well. Like, just everything is going through like a liquidity sweep. So if everything pumps, you know, everything's gonna pump together. Like VT, yeah, you know, VT shortlist. I would love to see that fair value gap be filled before, like, okay, whatever pumps we get today is probably just going to be temporary in my opinion, because market structure is not looking the best today. Getting echo, getting echo, getting echo, getting echo. Are you guys getting echo? I've always suspected that this room was very susceptible to echo because I'm sitting in a blank box. I just moved to this new place. If you guys are getting echo, I'm going to lower the gain or something. Take a look at ETH. Yeah, sure, I'll take a look at ETH after this. You got a new mic. It actually sounds better and no echo. No, I've always been using the same mic. It's just, I've changed the room. I moved to a new place. This room is actually pretty quiet. I've been able to, I don't know, improve the audio. I mean, same mic. I've always been using the SM7B. Tell me, is market cipher one of the best indicators? Depends, you know, it depends. It's one of the only indicators that I vouched for back then, but I've since moved away from indicators. I believe like price action is the best indicator there is because all indicators are programmed on price action. Luna is sitting on support. You just swept liquidity. Yeah, it's looking brilliant. Just, you know, the way that everything has just fell straight down makes it a little bit tougher to call longs on this one. But Luna's good as well. Just everything's just going through like a liquidity sweep, and seriously, just they are either all going to go to hell together or they are all going to pump together after the liquidity sweep of the longs. Is Gala ready for a long right now? I believe I set a limit order on Gala in the private Discord group. If I'm not mistaken, Gala limit long 0.203. Yeah. I'm actually looking more somewhere towards here. So I want you to pay attention to this block right here. I'm paying attention more to that block. I believe that all this liquidity down here, all this liquidity down here is going to be swept, as you can see by here. So ideally, you want to get into that block before you enter. So that's my limit long for Gala. I wouldn't necessarily be too interested in right now. I would be interested at 0.21. So I would look for something like this, like just a liquidity sweep and pump. But not right now. No, not right now. FTM is on this range. That's 150% up and down. Just can't tell where to enter. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. So I talked about this before, to not to overcomplicate FTM, because you just simply have this macro range low and you have this macro range high. There is nothing much to, complicate with this one. You simply buy when it's near the range low and you simply sell when it's near the range high. So, trading is as simple as that. So my ideal location to enter would be 1.13, give or take, to 1.12. That's my sincere recommendation. Yep. Either 1.13 or 1.12. I've already set an alert. We will get back to that later. But even right now, actually, if we go onto the 4-hourly chart to look for a liquidity sweep, then there is liquidity here. So 1.2. That is another entry as well, which I'm going to write down in the private Discord group. So I'm looking something like this. Again, all these coins just look absolutely similar in the fact that there's liquidity, it's sweeping liquidity right now, and usually what happens when you sweep liquidity is you have a sort of quote-unquote relief rally. Most of these coins look similar right now. Oh yeah, I was supposed to talk about ETH. Right, totally forgot about it. So if ETH, on ETH, right, on the aspect of ETH, if I'm not mistaken, I think the ETH upgrade, there was some news about some ETH upgrade coming up. And if that is really the case, then it could be a reason that it's been driving ETH prices. Like, it's been really strong. Like, compared to every other altcoin, this thing has not been retracing very much at all, which is, which gives a lot of confidence that, which should give ETH investors a lot of confidence. Now, my ideal target to get into ETH would be on this block right here, which is at about 3,000. That's my ideal block, but it's only 5% away. So if you're cool with that, I mean, that's the ideal level. You could get in right now as well, but it's looking precarious. I'll just say that. And as for whether or not it is going to 1680, it could. I mean, you never discount the possibility of that, but because there is just so much liquidity down here, right? So many equal lows, but at the same time, you have to look into the bigger picture as well. If ETH goes to 1680, then Bitcoin's going to go below 30k. Maybe not below 30k, but like it's going to get some very close to 30k. So then you have to consider the possibility. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible, but how likely is it? And when you look into the macro, you could argue that, hey, 2022 is the year of the recession. It's going to be a lot of stuff happening to the market. A lot of people are going to be suffering. And for one reason or another, things are not adding up to a very bullish, crypto year. But at the same time, market structure on Bitcoin and market structure on Ethereum is just looking brilliant. So then you have to think to yourself, how possible is it that you're going to go to 1680? And I would argue that it is not very possible at all. Hence the reason why I've been very bullish under these prices when everyone was screaming Bitcoin's going to go back to 20k. So my short answer to is ETH heading to 1680 is no. Is it possible? Yes, but trading is a game of possibilities and probabilities. You simply take the one with the higher probability. And I actually realized this whole time that so my title was, is BTC going below 40k this week? I think I actually answered that. Did I answer that? Yeah, I think I answered that. I took a chance on 20x long ADA. My liquidation is 0.982. I don't feel confident. You're not supposed to feel anything when you trade, bro. You're supposed to have your risk management down pat, and when you take a trade, it is just a trade. You do not be emotionally attached to it. If you find yourself being emotionally attached to it, there's only two reasons why. Number one, you're playing with too much money. You're risking too much money, so that's why you're thinking about it. That's why you're emotional. You shouldn't be emotional on a trade. Secondly, it's because you're not confident in the trade in the first place. Like, you don't know why you took the trade. You just took the trade. So simple, like, if you start feeling stuff, reduce your position size, bro. Crypto is not about making money quick. And I know it's really easy to make money quick, but on the inverse side of things, you can lose everything in just one trade. So my advice to you, lower your position size. Stick to 1% to 2% risk management. ADA was my idea. Yes, it was my idea, but was it my recommendation to risk everything that you have on a single trade? I'm sure not. I'm sure I don't ever say that. In fact, I talk about the exact opposite. Oh, dude, ADA was like last week. Last week, bro. Like, when I posted about ADA, it went up by 7% from entry, which means if it comes back down, you're supposed to move your stop loss to break even once you're in profit. So you're not supposed to be in this position anymore. It went into profit. I always word of advice, everybody. If the price of whatever goes up by, like, something that you do when it comes to short-term trades is every time before you go to bed, always move your stop loss to break even, especially if you're in profit. I would much rather be 100 times out of 100, I would rather be stopped at break even and miss the pump than to be stuck holding onto a losing position. Like, missing pumps is cool. Losing money is terrible. Like, once you lose all your money, you're out. FYI, I made a decent amount of profit on your ADA call. Thank you. I mean, you're welcome. But yeah, you know, every time something goes above a certain percentage that you're comfortable with, just move your stop loss to break even. So even if it comes down, you lose nothing. You can just re-enter the morning after. Instead of being stuck to this losing position, that's not fun. But yeah, guys, if there's one thing you take away from the stream, if you start feeling emotional about your trades, most 90% of the time, it's probably because you're playing with too much money. So drop that position size. How about a DYDX long at 4.7? Looks good as well. Yeah. 4.7? Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Ooh, 4.7. I would argue like 4.75 to 4.7. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thanks for pointing that one out. So this is a situation where you just set a limit, and more likely than not, it's going to give you some sort of a relief bounce. I'm shorting BNX from 117, 118, alert on dot. A dot was hit. Yeah, means the market's coming down. I actually think I think you can hold on to this one. Let me just go take a look at. So dot right now would be a good place to pick it up. You know, it's going for a liquidity sweep. But just remember to go like half risk. Tomo is Tomo and dots. Tomo dot Gala. Yeah, everything's hitting. So Bitcoin must be pulling some sort of shenanigans, which is why I said today was precarious. Now you guys see why. And I'm glad that I warned you guys about it. I'm not about to treat every week as the same thing and recommend you guys to take trades every week, because that's not how the markets work. Some weeks are good trading weeks, some weeks you're just not supposed to take any trades. Some days are good and some days are bad. It's the fact of it. You're not supposed to be trading every day. So a lot of the times, people new to this market, they will have a different kind of notion about trading, because they have been brought up to think in the way that usually in work, when you work more, let's say you work 12 hours instead of 8 hours, then usually you get paid more most of the time. But in trading, so people bring that kind of philosophy to trading, and they think that the more trades you take, oh, you have to be trading every day, you know, 1 minute, okay, go long, go short, bam, 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 bam. And they think that's like the secret to success. And realistically, like, the reality of it is that the more you trade, the more chances you have that you're going to get wrecked, because nobody has a 100% win rate. So if you have like a 99% win rate or something, which is virtually impossible, so let's go for something a little bit more, like something for a little bit more realistic, which is like, say, 60% win rate. The more trades you take, the more trades you're going to lose. You know what I mean? So unless you got your risk management down pat, trading more is not actually going to make you more money, unless you have a solid strategy and, very importantly, your risk management is down pat. Because if you're only risking 1%, say 1% per trade, then go for it, man. If your strategy has 60% win rate, just go for it. Take 100 trades a day or whatever. You're going to be super profitable. But that requires a lot of discipline. That requires a lot of focus. And I mean a lot of focus. And a lot of discipline. Now, discipline's not too hard, but a lot of focus. Imagine taking like 30 positions at once, and you have to manage every single one at the same time. The problem is people don't know what the invalidation of their trade is before taking in. Oh yeah, that's a very valid point as well. Yeah, I mean, the entire crypto market is just in a very similar structure at the moment. So, rather than looking at altcoins, we have to look at Bitcoin. What is the possibility that this week it is just going to completely invalidate the false move idea and it's just going to tank straight down? Which honestly, I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't give you guys a very solid answer. The only thing I can recommend is not to take on too much risk here and to focus your attention at lower prices like 41,500 and 41,200. My sincere recommendation. Now, we've been spot on for the last few weeks in a row. We've accurately predicted every move so far. This week, I'm just not too sure. I'm just going to be honest. What do you think about OGN? OGN. Ooh, yeah, it's actually quite pretty. The fact that you have a very clear point of imbalance and very clear order block. So I'm going to set an alert at 0.49, like OGN 0.49 is a place that I would be interested to pick up some OGN, because you just broke structure on the daily chart, so now you're reversing. So this entire block right here should give you an area for entry, like just this entire block right here should be a place where you look to buy. But if you want to narrow that down a little bit more, then that block from 0.503 to 0.49-ish. So I've set a couple of alerts. We'll see how it goes. Basically, the moral of the story is just be as unattached to your trades as possible. What do you think about GMT? Ooh, GMT is... Wait, let me check. I don't know. This is going to come down to fundamentals. It's way too young for me to draw any type of solid conclusion about it. But tell me a little bit about GMT. What is this coin about? What are its backers? Are there a lot of whales involved? Are there a lot of seed round private investors, stuff like that? Like, I need to know that before I can tell you like what's going on with this one, because, for example, like, okay, ape coin's actually interesting. I might actually go for a long on ape coin. I might ape into this, but yeah, you need to let me know more about GMT. You know, just looking at the chart itself, it's too young. I can't draw any kind of logical conclusion from this. Like, sure, there might be a nice pattern behind it. Sure, it might go for the next move upwards, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't usually trade new coins, even though they're pretty easy money. Just 90-95% of the time they tend to come back down, so it's a little bit tough to give you a solid on. Like, but if I had, like, if we just purely went on technicals here, then right now it is in the my boson alert is not supposed to hit this fast. Okay, right. Wait. Okay, yeah, no. False alert. The real alert's supposed to come at 0.94 to 0.93. Somewhere there. Yeah, but back to GMT, you know, it's in a zone of demand. Just broke out of this consolidation pattern. For those of you who need a little bit more visual assistance. And chances are you're supposed to go up. But again, with new coins, it's very hard to tell, because 90-95% of the time they tend to come back down to earth. So yeah, just I'm not sure what to tell you either. From experience, I would go with something a little bit more established. I did not know GOG had a token already. Wow, okay. I had no clue GOG had a token. But for those of you wondering, I am very huge on GOG. I have a couple of NFTs from GOG. I think this one will be a very good hit, alongside Illuvium and Gods Unchained, because 3 of these games are on the IMX ecosystem, like the IMX, you know, layer or whatever. And I'm really huge on IMX. Despite the price not reflecting that it is a very good project, I think it is a very good project. Solely because of the fundamentals, right? They're trying to build the infrastructure for blockchain gaming, basically. Instead of going in to, you know, mine the stuff, they're the company that's providing like the shovels and shit. So I'm huge on IMX, and as a byproduct of that, I'm huge on the games that are using IMX, which are utilizing IMX. GOG is one of them. Illuvium is another one of them, and Gods Unchained is another one of them. And for those of you who are wondering, I own a very good, very large amount of Gods Unchained cards, like back from the early days, because I saw the potential of IMX. I think my investments are up like 4x or 5x at the moment, 3 to 5x in around that zone. Of course, those are NFT investments. They're very illiquid, which is why I don't talk about them, because they're just illiquid. But yeah, GOG, I will definitely look to pick some up. Right here would be a good place to pick some up, actually. Like just right here. Ideally, you want to see lower. Ideally, you want to see there, 0.46. But otherwise, you know, right now would be a good time to start accumulating GOG. I'm definitely going to make a guild for all of you guys if you're interested in playing. I'm definitely going to be making a guild, so look forward to that. It's been a while since I've played games. I used to be a very avid gamer. You know, I really enjoy gaming. But ever since starting this, you know, starting businesses a couple years back, a few years back actually, just haven't been gaming a lot. You know, fun fact, I actually bought a gaming laptop for about 1,700 or 1,500. And I think for the last 8 months, I think I've used it about 8 times. So, yeah, you know, I thought I wanted a game. I do want to play games, but every time before I play a game, it's just like, oh, but you could be reading, you know, you could be reading a book, or you could be doing a little bit more work, and just, you know, just never happened. I actually want to play games. I have the opposite. I have the opposite problem of a lot of you. I want to play games, but like, it's hard to play. It's hard for me to play games, you know. You don't need a fancy one to play AOE 2. What's AOE? Age of Empires? Can you help take a look at Boba? It's a L2 ZK rollup. Sure thing. Ooh, negative price discovery though. But it's showing signs of reversing because it just broke a few daily highs. Okay, I'm going to set an alert at 1.36. 1? I do not remember setting a Harmony 1 alert, but apparently just rang. Okay. Okay, right, I see why it rang now. Man, seriously, man, the entire market's just sitting on a ledge right now. This is what I mean, like, today's very precarious. Like, if everything just looks like at the edge of a cliff. It's just that one little nudge from getting shoved off a cliff. Tomo is currently at your target. Would you go in now or wait? I would go in now, but with low risk. Hi, you haven't been doing the live trade videos for a while. I've actually been doing it consistently every week, other than the week from March, the end of March until April, because I was in the States for a trip. Thoughts on KDA? I'm absolutely huge on KDA. I actually just bought some KDA this morning at 5.74. It's below my entry at the moment, but I'm still going to continue to DCA into KDA because I think it's a really good project. My next DCA would probably come somewhere at about 5.1 or 5.2 between that level. So yeah, with all of these coins, just they're good. They're good places to enter right now. Just they can go even lower, so just be aware of that. Do you buy with Tree Commerce trailing buy? No, I don't. Try chaga coffee instead of tea. Number 2 secret in the world of health. I've never actually tried chaga. No, wait. Yeah, there's that. I do take chaga, just without the coffee, because I've quit coffee. I don't really do coffee anymore. Like, I realize my energy levels have been so much smoother off coffee, and just coffee gives me anxiety, man. Like, I had an affogato this afternoon, and then I had a coffee. It was really good coffee, but my energy felt like shit afterwards. So I'll do the chaga. I'm not going to do the coffee. Oh, Atom. Wow, I set this alert ages ago. It just rang. The world is falling apart. I'm actually going to start pulling up my exchanges now and start buying. Gonna go get my phone. DeFi perp hit the alert as well. Should be approaching a... Yeah, it should be approaching a POC. Man, just... Please let us know what you buy. It's a little bit tough because it's a lot of things I want to buy. I've actually been saving up a lot of money over... Like, my method of investing is very conservative. I basically save up a lot of money over time, and then when times are... I mean, I DCA regularly into a few coins, but in general, like, on the way up, I usually take profits over the course of a few months, and then once it comes down to good levels, I usually accumulate over the course of a couple to 3 months. So given that the last few weeks have been absolutely amazing, I've been taking profit. So now I have a lot of capital to redeploy, which is the method, which is the way that I would suggest all of you guys to approach your trading and investing as well, which is to take profit on the way up. A lot of people don't take profit, and that's where they get screwed. going to be buying some Atom at $25. I'm not sure if it's going to get hit, but $25 is like the place to buy for me. I've set this alert like ages ago actually. In fact, I can prove it. So the alerts that rang. So I created the alert on March 14. So I've been waiting a month for this. 25 Atom. Heck, even right now could be a good spot because it's just right at, you know, support. And then one coin in particular that, man, check it out. All the TPs have been hit, boy. Again, this is, in fact, just to prove this to you, I indeed caught this trade. This is proof that I caught this trade. So join the private Discord group if you want to follow along with all of my trades. I don't call very many trades, but the ones that I do call generally tend to end up very successful. All TPs hit for 43% gain. The reason why I bring up Doge, by the way, is because of 420. I don't know if you guys remember that Doge made its all-time high last year at 420, April 20. And was it April 20? I actually don't remember, I have to go check it. So, oh no, it's May. Wait, what? Oh no, on April 20, I think it pumped really hard or something. Nope, never mind. But just, you know, 420 is sort of like Doge Day, so I was just looking at Doge. Like, somebody brought this to my attention, which I'm going to shout him out. I forgot his name. Sammy in the house from the private Discord group brought this up to me, that 420 was sort of like Doge Day, and he taught me to not sleep on this one. So yeah, I was trying to look for an entry, but don't see it at the moment. Any promo codes available for your website? Seeing how I just went through my 1-year anniversary of the Discord, 1-year anniversary of the YouTube, maybe I should do a promo code. Follow me on Twitter. If there's any promo codes, I'm going to post it there. Isn't it good that BTC is down today? Since today is false move Monday, then the true move will be to go up after. Yeah, absolutely. We're just trying to figure out, like, where is the low, you know? But yeah, it's a good thing. Panic sell on the way down instead of taking profits on the way up is the best way to lose capital. Fun fact, by the way, I think I shorted Doge for like 9. I think the gain was like 1500% or something. I think I was on like 25 or 50x last year during May on this one. It's funny now that I remember it. Those were fun times. Waiting for your training course. That's still a little bit of a ways away. So just to share with you a revelation that I've had recently, because I attended a mastermind from somebody, and one thing I learned, in fact, I didn't even learn it from the person running the mastermind, it was just from the conversations with somebody, which is you have to separate the business building at making money and building should be separated as two separate, you know, activities. When you're making money, you're not building, but when you're building, you're not making money. So when you try to do both, then that's when both of these end up getting, you know how when you try to catch two birds, you catch none of them. So that's what I've been doing for like the longest time, because I've been trying to run everything, you know, the Discord group, plus the YouTube channel, and just trying to look at charts all day. And like, I've tried to build the trading course at the same time, and like both didn't get done well. Like, I wasn't running the Discord group as well as I did when I wasn't focused, when I wasn't having attention taken away to start building stuff. And I definitely wasn't building it very well either, because I had so much attention being applied to the Discord group. So yeah, I've changed my ways since coming back from the States. I've brought on 2 people to help me. And yeah, from now on, actually, it's going to be, I have like a lot more attention to just focus on building and creating systems and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be done quick, just not yet. You know, it's not out yet. But yeah, that's just a little bit of backstory and something I've learned. More episodes on backtesting. Oh yeah, there was that. Yep, that will definitely come as well. Can you check Solana? I think Solana looks good. I mean, I think Solana is strong, just you gotta wait for Bitcoin to finish its move first, which is, I'm predicting 41,500 and 41. I'm sorry. 41,500 and 41,200. Those are the levels that I'm gonna look to enter. Not necessarily right now. And remember, not every week is going to be a good trading week. Not every month is going to be a good trading month. It is your job, like the people, like I'm going to quote Sun Tzu on this. He who knows when, wait, no. No, I don't remember who said this, but like, when you know when to fight and when not to fight, meaning when to trade aggressively and when not to trade at all, you'll be ahead of like 90% of other people out there who just try to go Rambo all the time, every day, every hour. You'll save yourself a lot of headache, you'll save yourself a lot of money, and you're going to win a lot more. Life is just going to be better in general. So if there's one thing you take away from this stream, is to understand that. And the other thing you should take away from the stream is to like this video. You guys have been hanging around for an hour. You should be liking the video at this point. And remember to check out the private Discord group for just the latest market updates, as well as following along with not just my trades, but my analysts' trades as well. You'll make pretty good money. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you for watching. Always appreciate you guys watching until this point. And I'll catch you either on Wednesday or next week. We'll see how it goes. Make sure you follow me on the Twitter to get updated on when I'm going to come on live again. But yeah, much love to you guys. Mwah.